Confidence is about how you see yourself. Welcome to the Uniquely Confident Podcast.
Yo, yo, yo. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. Yes, indeed, it's another dope episode of the Uniquely Confident Podcast. I am your host, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And yes, you guys know, every time I'm on this podcast, I'm excited. Why? Because I stay with some dope people that's going to bring some phenomenal content. And today, it is no different. But you guys know, around here, we got to follow some kind of protocol. And we got to talk to the pops upstairs. So with that being said, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for another opportunity to say thank you. We're grateful for life itself because we understand that that is the gift and you are the giver of that gift. So we appreciate you for the gift and we appreciate your life as well, sir. So that right now we ask you to go watch over us as we go across the airwaves. That we may be a blessing and inspiration as well as some hope for somebody to build a better character and confidence wherever they may be. And these things we do ask in the Most High's name. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, everybody out there, listen, this gentleman right here is one of the phenomenal men of the world that I can truly say he's one of my brothers. This king right here, when we met a few years back, he's been nothing but an inspiration because he is literally a man, a man's man. And I appreciate everything he's doing. He's a phenomenal speaker. My man, Dawud Humzah. Yo, what it do, King? How you feeling?
What's up, King? I'm feeling incredible.
And as you can hear, my son is feeling incredible as well. Josiah, chill out. Yo, so he turns it down. So, as you can hear right now, I got my son here with me right now, and he's going to be in and out of this podcast. So you guys know, Josiah is a usual. Anyone that follows the podcast. So today, my brother, how you feeling, man? What's going on with you?
Man, feeling great, man. I'm happy to be talking to you, bro. Man, you know, I'm excited. Good to see you smile. I'm just excited to be here. Period.
Oh man, I'm glad to have you, bro. So yeah, so man, with this conversation, bro, we're gonna base it around obviously the theme of the podcast, but we're gonna have some fun today.
Yeah.
Being that we got a lot of talk about this slap heard across the world, let's talk a little bit about it. You know what I mean? Because there is so much that we can take from it, as in lessons in character development and as well as confidence. Because as quiet as it may be, it took a whole lot of self-confidence to stand up in the middle of the Oscars, walk across that platform and slap somebody on global TV. So there's a lot of things we could take from it. But before we get into it, I want to know what's your take on the situation, man. What do you think about the entire ordeal of Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock?
Hey, you know what? It was I think my perspective actually changed from the initiation of it to me really pondering over it. Initially, I was like, yo, he deserved that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like outright, my man's crossed the line.
That's that husband talk, right? You felt like that as a husband. Like, yeah, I'm with you.
Yep. And then as I pondered on it longer and I had discussions about it, it really made me think about, you know, character, right? And I admire Will Smith. You know, I admire his character. He gives some of the best information I've heard from people of his caliber. And when I looked at what he did versus how he, you know, how wise he is and messages that he give, it didn't align. Right. So when you think about character, he was out of character in that moment. He allowed his emotions to take charge versus his intellect. So even though I do believe Chris Rock crossed the line with what he said, and you know, he's a comedian. Comedians cross the line all the time. They never truly expect a response like that, you know. But you know, I guess obviously Will Smith was kind of at a breaking point, probably due to more than just that particular comment. It's probably multiple things that had been built up. So he allowed frustration and overwhelm from multiple things to be channeled into that one moment, and he responded in that moment, which was not wise. So I do appreciate his apology post that he did, you know, following that incident, and that spoke more towards his character than the actual incident itself. So
absolutely,
that's my take on it.
And just as you did, when I first seen it, knee-jerk reaction was like, yo, that's what I'm talking about, Will. Like, and to be honest, like, just all around, Chris Rock had it coming, because this wasn't the first time that he said something outlandish, right?
Yeah.
What happened was Will Smith he to me is a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a role model. I've learned so many lessons from Fresh Prince and all of his bodies of work, right? Pursuit of Happiness, you name it, and all of his phenomenal bodies of work. He's shown that he's a man of high character, and he's shown that he's a man that's due respect. And with that being said, like, yo, he definitely stepped out of character. And at first glance, as a husband, I even said it on an episode that's coming out. Well, it just came out yesterday, and I spoke about this, and I said that as a husband, like you are, Dawud, like think about this, bro. You sitting in the house with your wife, and you're watching her go through this, right? You're watching her physically lose her hair on a day-to-day basis, right? Like when a man sees his woman crying or hurt, our first thing is to put our cape on. We want to come in, we want to fly in, and we want to ease the pain, take whatever discomfort away. We want to make sure that our queens are in good shape. And I could just imagine just Will having to continuously watch what this is doing to Jada on a day-to-day basis, right? Just watching this and seeing what it's doing to her.
Yeah.
And I could imagine, like, yo, it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? And then to hear someone make fun of the very thing that's causing your wife all this stress and discomfort, it makes you want to do something. Because I, like, me personally, like, I tell everybody, like, you know, I'm Mr. Imperfect. So there's some things about me that definitely needs some work. And this is one of them, because I don't have what Chris Rock has in him, bro.
Yeah.
Like, when Will Smith would have slapped me, bro, like, I'm going in. I'm attacking, because not only did he slap me, he walked away from me like as if though I'm not a man. Like, you slapped me and then turned your back to me.
Yeah.
And where I'm from in the street, first of all, the slap is the ultimate disrespect.
Yes, sir.
And then the second disrespect is to walk away, turn your back to me. So just from me as a man standing, it's like, I would have lost all my earns. Because if I was Chris Rock, I would have lost, because I heard someone say that I don't have Chris Rock money, so I don't know what I would have done. I don't need money to know what I would have done. Doesn't matter about the amount of money, bro. Like, you slap me, it's going to be a major issue. Like, I don't care what's the setting. We can be in church.
Yeah.
We could be in mass. We could be anywhere. If you slap me, you better believe there's going to be something else that comes behind it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a post. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you. That was, for me, his response was it might even been almost more surprising than Will Smith's response. Like, for him to stay in character, and continue on with the show, and to add it into, you know, the theme of what was going on. You know, that was incredible.
Yes.
That
professionalism
was
at its finest.
At its finest. Like, I cannot at all say I would have done that. Like, at all. So that to me, his character won.
Yes.
In that battle.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
Even though Will Smith might have won with the physical situation, Chris Rock's character won because he did not press charges.
Right.
He responded with, man, he just slapped the shit out of me. and then, like, he kind of closed it out with, this is going to be a moment to remember forever. And then when Will Smith said, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth, my man said, I will.
Yeah.
You know, and so he submitted to the moment, but he didn't allow his anger, frustration, or what the average man would have done in response. He didn't allow that to lead, man, which was huge. And it could be looked as a coward. Some people could see it as being a coward. I can't lie. Some people gonna say
very true. Very, very honest and very true. It can be looked as you're a little soft, my brother. But But at the same time, like someone else said, Chris Rock has a lot more on at stake, right? And at the same time, bro, there was a part of Chris Rock that was about to act up. See, I watched the video a couple times. So when Will Smith said, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth, and he said, I will, Chris Rock's next words was, I could, and he just stopped. I would pay my left arm, you hear me, to know what he was gonna say, because let's be real here, D. Chris Rock has said way worse, bro. He's known. He's made his living off of saying way worse, bro. Because yes, the disease itself is horrible, and the entire community hear my heart when I'm saying this. I understand the disease is terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not life-changing. It's not a deadly disease, right? Her life is not at jeopardy. And the truth of the matter is, it was a good comparison. Like I'm going back. I'm actually retracting a little bit what I said in my last episode, because knowing Chris Rock's caliber of things he could have said, he could have taken that. Yo, we could be talking about literally canceling Chris Rock right now based on his previous bodies of work.
Yeah.
But the level of comedy and tact that he used in that joke, if you look at it compared, was definitely superb. So Will Smith, and another thing I wanted to point out too, did you see how hard he was laughing?
Will Smith?
Did you see how hard he was laughing initially?
Yeah, it didn't shift until you looked at Jada.
Somebody gonna tell the truth in here. There we go. Yeah. Yo, D, something changed, bro. Between that caption of the camera catching Will Smith laughing when the joke was initially said and Jada rolling her eyes, when that camera panned off, I would love to know what Jada said to Will. What battery did she put in his back? Somebody, one of the posts said it. This is kind of funny. She was like, well, Tupac wouldn't have stood for that. Somebody said that she could have whispered something like that in his ear, or just given him a look that sent him totally into a frenzy.
She might have even said under her breath, or even the kind of out loud, like, man, he need to be slapped for that. What if she said that? What if that was the words that came out of her mouth after she shook her head? Because all we saw her do was shake her head, like, out of like, man, he's so ignorant. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all we saw. But she could have said, after that camera pan, like you said, she could have said, man, he need to be slapped for that, for real. or I wish somebody would go up there and slap him for that.
Right.
And Will might have been like, done.
Right.
Like, not even thinking, not done. Because not only is she gonna be mad at me, not only for laughing, she's also gonna be mad at me for not standing up for her. So I already got caught in the laugh. It came out. Too bad, too late. Right? But I gotta try to mend it at some capacity by at least standing up for her now. And I think he could have done it with words. Like, I would have respected him standing up and saying, hey, Chris, keep my wife's name out your mouth, bro. Right. I don't want you. This ain't no funny joking. Keep her name out your mouth. Right. If he would have said that, I would have respected that way more instead of going up there and hitting him. You know what I'm saying? That would have been more of something I've been like, oh yeah, I can expect Will to do that.
Right.
But the hit was extreme.
And let me ask you a question, D, because now we can shift a little bit, because I've been getting a lot of slack in my comments and my DMs from women, which hurts my heart because I do nothing but defend them. Yeah. Right? Like if you catch me on any of my platforms, if you hear me anywhere, majority of the time I'm defending our queens. I'm standing up for them. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man. But when you're wrong, bro. And when that doesn't matter what the gender is. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Jada's been dragging Will Smith, bro. Like this is I feel like the reason why Will popped is because it's been brewing for so long. Like he's been made the butt of jokes in society for the last year. Every time she goes and sits at that red table, Will comes out looking like a clown. So me personally, I still kind of finger pointing at Will and this whole situation, because as a man, as a husband, as a father, there's certain things that you must nip in the bud behind closed doors. Yeah. Now, as a celebrity and all those things, I get it. You are exposed, and a lot of your information is public information. I get it. Yeah. But there are a lot of things that were said at the table that shouldn't have been exposed, and to be truthful, wouldn't have came out if she wouldn't have brought it out. Mm-hmm. So if all of our queens are talking about he's doing right by standing up and protecting his woman, I got a hard problem with that, because protecting your woman means someone is causing her bodily harm. You defend it. You get in the way. You protect her from harm's way. Yeah. You don't protect your woman from harm's jokes. That's number one. And number two, it goes both ways. My wife protects me just as much as I protect her. Your wife protects you just as much as you protect her.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that apply for Will and Jada?
I think so like I guess the first thing would be for me is what does protection look like to different people who view it, right? I think protection can look very different for different people. You gave a definition of, I'm protecting my wife from physical bodily harm, right? And I do think that there's a way of protecting that doesn't include physical bodily harm. For example, I made the comment that I would have respected Will Smith getting up and speaking up for her, versus him going up there and smacking, Chris Rock. If he would have got up and said something, that's a form of protecting her.
Absolutely.
If he would have even listen, even if he would have pulled Chris aside afterwards, and said like, bro, that we don't play like that no more. Like those type of jokes, he like the condition my wife in, what I've been through, what she's been through. I get it, you're a comedian, man. I'm a funny dude too. Like, but I'm just letting you know right now, man to man, I don't want to hear any more jokes about my wife and her condition.
Period.
That's stand up. That's protecting, right? So it really depends on how people view protecting your woman, right? Because I'll give you a great example, man. One time I'm walking to a restaurant with my lady, right? Dude on some stuff, like he definitely drugged out on some stuff, coming towards us, talking crazy, right? Be this. I mean, just talking real crazy, right? Just real crazy. Right. I simply pulled my wife to the other side, right? So I was closer to dude.
Right.
And in my mind, I said, as long as he don't touch me or her, we cool.
Right.
Because he owns something. I ain't paying no attention. He's probably saying the same thing to every single person he walked past right now.
Correct.
Dude was strung out on something. But protecting her to me was just putting her in a space where she felt more safe.
Right.
So all I did was move her over. Dude walked past. I was prepared if something was to go down. And we walked past with no incident at all. He ain't approach us. He just walked us past talking out the side of his neck.
Right.
So some people might say protecting her means because he called your woman a B, right? And he might have just been, to me, he was just saying B out the, he was just saying it.
It wasn't directed, right?
It wasn't directed. He was just saying it. But it appeared as if he was calling my wife a B because he was walking towards us saying it. Right. So I could have taken that and said, oh, I need to smack this dude. He disrespected my lady.
Fact.
Or I could say, you know what? I'm going to ignore his ignorance. And I'm not going to allow him to get me out of my character, which could put me and my wife in more harm.
That right there, that is such a phenomenal point. Because to the point of protection, right? Protection goes both ways. See, now my wife is never going to be in a situation where she's like, well, go knock him out. Like, go hit him or go defend my honor. Because in no actuality, at that moment, you are in danger. You are both in danger, like you just stated, because you don't know what he has. Like, you don't know if this fist fight can turn into a stabbing or a gunshot that can change the course of both of y'all lives.
Yeah.
And this is why I have such a hard time with women that says, oh, well, protect me at all costs. It's like, yo, wait a minute. What is, like you said, what is your definition of protection? And is that protecting me? Because in no actuality, like we said earlier in the conversation, if Chris Rock was 50 Cent and Jada sent Will to go slap 50.
It ain't going down. It ain't going down.
And let's just say, for argument's sake, he did happen to connect and slap 50.
Yeah.
You think for 1 second that Tom Ford or whatever he was wearing would be wearing would not so stay intact? It doesn't matter where he's at. He's going to act up.
Yeah.
And that's the one problem I have with Will Smith is that, like, I don't like bullies, D.
Yeah.
I don't like bullies, bro. Like, I take passion in beating bullies up. I'm going to just keep it a stack. I do. I find it pleasurable because it's like, yo, you shouldn't be inflicting harm on another person just because you're bigger than them. And that's the problem I have with Will Smith, bro. Like, you slap that man knowing he's half of your size.
Yeah.
And you also know that there's no physical reaction from it. Like, there's no comeback from Chris Rock from slapping him in the middle of everybody. You knew that.
Yeah.
By the way you slapped him and then fixed your jacket and walked off. And that's the problem that I really have is like, yo, bro, like, you wouldn't have slapped Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Because he's a comedian. Yo, yeah, as a matter of fact, you wouldn't have slapped Kevin Hart.
Nah.
And this is my greatest problem right now with Will is like, yo, I get it. Husband, defending your honor, your wife, not all the way do I get it, but I understand it. But the whole bully tactic was so corny to me.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know if you got a chance to read his book at all. But Will Smith's book actually sheds more light on the way he responded. Because truth be told, Will Smith was bullied when he was younger.
Wow.
He was the frail, you know what I'm saying, misfit when he grew up, right? So because he got bullied and picked on, I could see why he felt like, oh, now I have the opportunity, right? Because most bullies, they got a certain level of fear to them, right?
Absolutely.
There's something missing. Either there's some type of neglect at home, either they get abused by dad. It's something missing. It's something that they're trying to show to make them seem or feel tough.
Right.
So, you know, Will Smith, he just released his book not too long ago.
I gotta check it.
Yeah. So you think about when you do a book, you're rehashing open all those memories, thoughts, traumas, everything.
Right.
So you bringing that back to the forefront. His sister used to defend him, bro. Like his sister used to defend him. Like she would go out and say who beat him up, who talked about him, who picked on him, and she would beat them up for him.
Right.
And he admitted in his book, he said, I always felt like a coward. Main reason because his dad beat up his mom one day and he stood there and watched it. He said he always felt like a coward.
Right.
So if you feeling like a coward most of your life,
right,
and you get to this moment to show people I'm not a coward.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You take advantage of it because the moment seemed fit. Like this is a guy who obviously he's probably not gonna hit me back. I could look strong. I could look as if I'm defending my wife, and you know, it'll all be fine. Right. So it's a lot from the book that I'm understanding now that even ties into the moment.
And that right there, I'm so glad you pointed that out because I will be reading that book this week because I didn't know that, right? And like we all show up where we are in life because of what we've been through and the things that we've gone through. So this is really insightful to me because I didn't know that. And Josiah, someone who doesn't like bullying is because I just know what it feels like, right? Most people understand that you get bullied, it doesn't feel good, and someone is taking advantage the fact that you cannot defend yourself or you're scared to defend yourself. And I don't know that. Let me not say that because it's possible, but trauma can lead you to do things that you will pull you out of your character. And that's probably what we've seen at this Oscars because, yo, if you look at the body of work that Will Smith has, like in all his years of work, it's like, yo, this wasn't even his style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every man has a breaking point. Yeah. And that's pretty much what I was getting to with Jada. It's like, yo, Will broke, man. Like, and to be honest, like, I blame him, but I don't blame him because it's like, yo, we're only human. We're literally only human. So he probably broke a long time ago behind closed doors, bro. We just didn't know about it. And now it's just like, yo, I just can't take this no more.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a glimpse of it when the whole entanglement situation came out. I mean, how many memes was it with his face and tears and like how he was looking at Jada when she was kind of opening up about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, my man was broken, and he said, yo, I'm pissed. He even said, like, I'm getting payback for this. Like, he like told her, like, I'm getting payback for this one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So imagine like your public and private business to that degree being shared throughout the world, you know, on this platform, and you have to absorb it, and you got to like find a way to navigate through it. And this is your wife saying, I was involved with this man who we took in to help. He's a kid. Like, you really talking about a kid.
Right.
You took in to help. Right. And not only did you hurt me by allowing yourself to be this vulnerable, right, and this really ignorant, and put your guards down, but you hurt him too. Like, people don't even think about the fact that, you know, August, like, that dude was broken.
Yeah.
He was broken. He came to y'all because he was broken. And then you do this and allow it to happen and then separate, right? You don't pursue that. And now he's even more broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't look at the effects. Like, everybody thinking about Jada and Will, like my man. I mean, that situation, I'm sure, messed him up big time. He poured his heart out in some of the messages and stuff that he shared. Like, dude was head over heels about it.
Right.
Because you know how, like, let's be real. Let's be real. When we run into somebody who stimulate us mentally, right? Who shows support, they show that we are valuable. They make us feel like more than we are.
Right.
That does something different to you.
Completely different.
It's a different caliber, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
we get married behind stuff like that. Like, that's
come on. So that's where my man's mind was. You've been pouring into me all these years. You took me in all these years, and now we intimate. Now we close on a different. Now you show me you love me, right? I'm sure that messed dude up big time.
And to be honest, bro, like, when we talk about like exposing and letting things out and bringing them to the forefront, yo, if this shoe was on the other foot, Will would be considered a piece of shit, bro. And this is what I am having a hard time with these double standards on two different levels. Let me go to the first one. Now, us as a society, D, we're soft and we cower to people with money and status. Mm-hmm. Will Smith and anyone else, once he got up and slapped Chris Rock, should have been escorted out of the Oscars. I don't care who you are or what award you were getting, you were supposed to be escorted. Because if it was me or you, even getting up out of our seat to walk that way would have been tackled.
Yeah.
But because it's Will Smith, he had the opportunity to walk up there, assault this man, and then walk back to his seat and then scream profanities.
Yeah.
We got to have a standard. Yeah. We have to have a standard, and the standard is not predicated on who it is.
Yeah.
No one should be able to walk up to someone, especially right now in COVID. Like it should have been a red flag to security when he was walking towards him. Like, yo, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, why is he walking?
Look right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then after the slap, he walked back to his seat. He was supposed to be tackled. Like, because granted, if someone comes in there right now in that room right then, they would have been tackled.
Yeah.
Security would have yoked him up and we wouldn't have seen it. But because it's Will Smith, and shout out to Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said, yo, we're soft in Hollywood. There's no standards. Because I would have sued Will Smith for a couple $100,000, couple million. Yeah. And then I would have had somebody get him out of there. Like, he's supposed to be removed. And it's all true.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because of who you are, what you've done. The rules don't apply to you. They still apply. Yeah. And then the double standard as to Jada and Will. Yo, Jada went on national television, admitted her infidelity to a person that Will and her let in her home. If Will did that with a woman, he'd be canceled. He'd lose. He'd probably lose his Oscar. He'd probably lose accolades that we can't even imagine right now if this was him. And this is not just a fantasy. No, this would be what it was if Will Smith was Jada. If Will Smith came out of nowhere and said, the woman that we brought into our home, I'm not intimate with. No, let me not say that. Use the exact words. We had an entanglement.
Right.
Yo, first of all, like, she just made that word up. Like, before that moment, like, was that even a word?
Yo, and that's because Will was putting pressure on her. He like, say what it is. Just say what it is.
Right. And let me ask you a question. You're a speaker and you understand the power of words. What happens when you say something, Dawud? What happens? Because you can think it, right? It's almost not real while it's still up here. But once it translates and comes through your oracle, what happens at that point?
It becomes real. It takes form. You know, like people underestimate the power of words.
Facts.
They can build and they can tear down.
Facts.
You know, so whoever made up that statement years ago that said sticks and stones can break my bones, but words never hurt me. That was a lie. Words hurt and words help.
Right.
It all depends on how you use them in the context of it.
Facts. Bro, like, and I'm so grateful for understanding, right? Because at this stage of human life, we do have an understanding that words can kill or they can bring life. Yep. And I'm just, as a whole, I just pray that Will Smith gets the help that he needs. Because to be honest, there's some help that he needs.
Yeah.
That the happy-go-lucky, free spirit individual, like it's some work in the background that must be done, because if this can take you over the line, right? Now, we also don't know what was in the background and what happened before this, but if this can be the straw that breaks the camel's back, what else is on that camel's back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, let's be honest. The joke wasn't that bad, bro. like we gotta be, yo. And don't get me wrong, to everybody that suffers with alopecia, I understand. I said it in my last episode. Maya Angelou speaks about the woman's hair and how it's her glory. I embody that, and I lived that through my own mother, my sister, and my wife. Like, if they put a blade to their hair too far, I'm upset. So trust me, I get it.
Yeah.
But this joke on a scale was nowhere near worth being slapped over.
Yeah.
And that right there is what I want us to see, is like, yo, violence is violence.
Period.
What's the difference between a slap and a bullet? What's the difference? So you tell me, oh, a bullet can kill. No, not necessarily. You shoot somebody in the leg, they can still survive.
Yeah.
Oh, a slap can't kill. Not necessarily, because if I slap you hard enough and you hit the concrete in the back of your head, that slap killed you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between violence? There is none.
That's big. That's big.
And we sitting here and we're pulling straws about this because of who it is, but the nature of the incident is wrong all the way around, yo.
Period. And
let's talk about what it's done to the community, bro, to us as a people. Because am I wrong when I say, like, I remember like about a year and change ago where there was a big uproar about let us into the Oscars, like Black Power in the Oscars, like. So here we are.
In the Oscars.
At the Oscars, finally getting what we feel like we was due, right? In this space of acting. And this is the behavior.
Yeah.
And now we got children, right? What do we tell our children? What do we tell our children that, because I'm showing my kids Will Smith movies. I'm telling them who this man is. And
yeah,
it's going to come a time where now they're going to look up and say, well, Dad, why is the dude that you're talking about just slapping people?
Yeah. I mean, you can't even hide it from them. You know what I'm saying? In the age of social media and the different platforms that are available now for kids, everybody sees everything now, bro. Everything. It's like if it's done publicly, it's done in the world. Like, everybody gets to see it, right? You can't protect your children from a lot of this stuff now. So like you said, how do you explain this? You know, what do you say? And I think you say what we've discussed. He got out of character, y'all.
Right.
Like, he got out of character. Don't let that be you. You know what I'm saying? Understand the importance of your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, understand the importance of how you are viewed, because it's important, you know, and don't ever tarnish your character because of a temporary emotion.
Right.
Don't tarnish. Like, you don't tarnish your character because of a temporary emotion. Like that, what he did from a temporary emotion will last forever for him.
Forever.
I mean, you never gonna get rid of the memes. No. I was at the barbershop today, bro, and somebody literally said, man, something happened, man. I would have gave that dude a Will Smith smack. I said, oh, now smacks. Come on, bro. Now smacks.
He got a branded smack.
He got a branded smack, bro. They are considered Will Smith smacks now, bro. For real, man.
Yo, and just to make some more fun of the situation, somebody I seen a joke. The dude said, this morning. No, what did he say? Oh, I went to I got something this morning. I woke up to something brand new this morning. The lady goes, what? He's like, a bunch of Fresh Prince.
I'm telling you, it's never going away.
Another thing too is, like, this took away from the greatest night of his life, bro. no one else even knows anything else that happened at the Oscars. It doesn't, like, so many things that was good happened, we will never know about. I won't even hear anymore about.
Yeah.
I look at this too and say, wow, forever this will be now enshrined in all of our minds. But also, it's now Chris Rock. Let's talk about Chris Rock's family, bro.
Yeah.
He's a man with a wife, with kids, friends, families, loved ones. And he was physically assaulted and is not a laughing stock, bro. I feel for him.
Yeah.
I truly and honestly feel for Chris Rock. People say, well, he's a millionaire. Why do you care? Because he's a man.
Yeah.
That has to deal with this now pretty much for the rest of his career, his life, and everything so forth going on.
Yeah.
And to make light of it, Chris Rock is going to have to eat some of his own medicine. Because you made a living off of telling hard jokes on people all around you. You're going to be a butt of them now. You're going to have to sit and deal with it.
You know what I think, though? I honestly believe, knowing Chris Rock and the way he handled that situation, I think he's going to turn it into his own joke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he literally said right after it happened, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, right? So in the moment, he turned it into his own joke. And I don't know if you saw this, but his ticket prices went up from about $46 to over $300.
Yeah.
Right? So he's already going to get more bookings. He's going to get higher pay for his shows because people are expecting him to include something now that's related to that. He has to.
Yeah.
You can't run from it. You're a comedian. You got to go on stage and talk about the smack.
Yeah, they're going to roast you if you don't.
If you don't. Come on, bro. And it's gonna be people that say, well, you shouldn't have let him do that. You ain't a man for this. And he, however he worded, he's gonna turn it into his own joke with his own spin on it. And it's gonna probably be some jokes about Will Smith. It may even be some future jokes about Jada. Who knows?
Right.
But I know he has to embody that moment and make it a part of his act. Otherwise, the world will eat him up. So I don't think he's gonna let it eat him up.
Now, and as a comedian and of his caliber, right? Like he has the ability to, and that's why I said, like, in that moment, I kind of wish he said something else, right? I kind of wish he did throw a joke at Will to make him more irate because that would just show like this is who I am. Yeah. But to make more light, right, of the situation, could you imagine Chris Rock telling his son, like, yo, go over and take the garbage out? Yo, listen, Dad, I'll call Uncle Will over here, right? Like, I'll call Uncle Will over here right now. Pop, watch your mouth. I couldn't help myself on that one because I'm saying to myself, I know for a fact if I was his son, I'd be like, "No, act so tough, Pop. You was act that tough on the Oscar stage."
Not at the Oscar. No, I feel it. He gonna hear it, bro.
Right.
It's gonna hunt him for life, man. But what else can you do, man? Like all he can do is embrace it as much as possible. You know, maybe at some capacity he'll speak to his own character and why he didn't respond with violence or with more comments. Maybe he'll, vocalize that at some point, man. But at the end of the day, he made the toughest right decision.
The toughest right one. He has a uniquely confident
uniquely confident to let that happen and like not do anything physical. Right. Uniquely confident, bro. Hands down.
And let me, like, how much confidence do you have in yourself as an individual not to respond to that? Like that right there to me was like, yes, he showed a phenomenal amount, an exceeding amount of character, but self-confidence to go on in such a professional manner and not let it, because my wife was even saying like I wouldn't have done anything physical because she's not a fighter, but she said I would have just walked off. I would have just walked off the stage. And I think that's a lot of people's sentiments in that space. Like, yo, I would have just have left. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Because even when Chris Rock began to speak and go forward, he was a little disoriented. He began to say something about a bio and he was like, no.
He messed up. Yep. He was disoriented.
He was completely disoriented. And that's how I knew this wasn't fake, because it's like, yo, bro, like he was still changing his jaw while he was talking. He was still trying to gather his whole entire his emotions and everything while he was speaking. And that right there takes buku's amount of confidence, bro, because you know, like, think about this. While he was talking, in the back of his mind, he was like, yo, I got to deal with this shit.
Yeah,
I got to deal with this. I got to go forth in life knowing that Will Smith just slapped me in global TV. You can't even say national. It's global.
Yeah.
The Oscars is around the world.
Yeah.
And, yo, as a matter of fact, shout out to China, right? Shout out to China and their media, because the only reason that we're privy to what happened at the Oscars on that level is because their cameras put it out to the world. See, what happened was the United States was trying to get all the footage and delete it quickly. They was trying to get rid of it, edit that out immediately. And how I heard it was China had put it up on YouTube and literally blew up from there. So shout out to China for holding us down, man.
Right.
We got all our stuff from y'all, and now we get entertainment as well. So we appreciate y'all.
Thank you, man. We will be able to have this conversation right now.
Right.
But just diving into the whole the confidence piece that he had, I think, and this is a great way to even segue maybe. There's a fine line between a high level of confidence, especially for a man, right, and cowardice. You feel me? There's a fine line between a high level of confidence and cowardice. Because as I work in schools and I work with young men, and my partners and other mentors work with students, especially men, we oftentimes advise them to take a high road if conflict happens, right? We oftentimes advise them to not let a situation to control them, but for them to control the situation, not to let their emotions dictate their actions, but to let their intellect dictate their actions, right? So as we give them this guidance, it's oftentimes we reference, what if somebody calls you out your name? What if somebody bullies you? What if somebody picks on you? What if somebody is, antagonizing you? How do you respond, right? And one of the main things I teach is the world, the universe, however you want to look at it, it doesn't care how you feel. It only cares how you respond, right? If you acted off feelings, you're going to be chalked, period. You're going to make some real hasty, bad decisions that lead you in a bad situation. But if you act off of your intellect and you focus on the best response, right, and the end results of that response, how the ripple effect can happen from that response, then it's a game changer. So for me, what he demonstrated was that you can be confident in your response, even if to some it looks like cowardice, right? Because that's it's gonna happen. I don't care who you are, what environment you in. There's gonna be situations where a dude call you out, right? Somebody call you out, somebody pick on you. They try to get under your skin. They try to get you out of your character. And if you are operating from a level of high intellect and you're not focused on the emotional trigger that's happening inside, you should respond in a way that ignores the ignorance. Because if you go to their level, guess what? Now you're ignorant too. Right. But if you have a high level of wisdom, then you avoid the situation as best as possible. You distance yourself, you walk away from it. And some people are going to view you as a coward for that.
Right.
And you have to be confident in your decision and confident enough to still do it if it happened again. So that's something we teach, man. We teach that to young men. And if they don't get, if you don't gain that that understanding, you'll always make the ignorant decision. And the ignorant decision will lead you into some places that you don't want to be. It leads you with, he could have got charged.
Right.
Will Smith could have had an assault charge on his record right now. They're already having discussion about taking his Oscar. Right. So look at the end result, like not the beginning. For those who support what he did, don't focus on what he did and the emotion that triggered him to make him do it in Jada's face and her look and how she felt. Don't focus on that. That's temporary, right? Long term, he's tarnishing his character. He's tarnishing his career. He could lose an Oscar. He could have been charged. He could have went to jail.
Right.
Like all of these, repercussions from a temporary emotional decision. And I think that's what people really have to take away from this. It's okay for some people to look at you like a coward.
Yeah.
So what? I don't care. Look at me like a coward. I don't care. What does that mean to me? If I'm confident, what does that mean to me? Because you said, oh, man, you a punk because you walk away. Oh, man, you a punk because you let him say that to you. Oh, man, you a punk because you let dude call your woman out her name and you ain't smacking. I'm a punk because of that? Or am I using a different level of wisdom?
Right.
And if I'm listening to you, I already know you speak from a level of ignorance. So how should I and why would I adopt that?
Right. Because that's literally you bringing yourself away from what you know to go to a lower vibration of someone else more ignorant than you are. So, bro, like, you definitely give me a new perspective because, like you said, over the long haul, it hurt more than it helped by far.
Yeah.
And this is a valuable lesson that we all, bro, like every last one of us are not too far or gone in life or too far away in life that we can't use this as an example in our own lives. Because like you said, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be somebody out there who pulls at you. There's gonna be somebody out there who calls you out of your name. There's gonna be somebody out there that actually puts their hands on you at some point in life. We all go through it, but it's about where you are mentally, and like it's not about what happens to you, but it's about how you respond to it. And that is the greatest lesson for all of us. Like, yes, Chris Rock, to a lot of our, especially men, a lot of our eyes is like, oh, that was a sucker move. But in the long run, in the long haul, he is the bigger man out of this.
Definitely.
He is the individual who stands tall and can be honest, can have his chin in the air and say, yo, listen, say what you will, but I didn't lose anything. I actually gained. And that's now. You know what I mean? And that right there, what high character and confidence does for you, it allows you to gain in situations where it was ordained for you to lose.
Yeah, that's real. Like you said, in the long run, he gained. Yeah. Like I want everybody to really, you know what I'm saying, catch that part. In the long run, he gained. Look, they even showed it. His ticket sales went up
by a lot.
His ticket sales went up.
And that by almost more than 3%, more than 3 times, because it went from $40-something to over $300.
Come on, man.
Per ticket.
That's like a 250% increase, bro. Like
from being slapped.
From being slapped.
Hey, now that I think about it, yo, dude, you want to slap me for
hey, man, your podcast gonna go crazy, bro. I promise you.
Right.
I promise you. But people like you got more people now. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who just like foolery and ignorance. And, you know, of course, views have skyrocketed. I promise you everybody's going to watch. If it was somebody who did not see the Oscars ever in their life or missed it for a year, I promise you the next Oscars, views are going to be
world record views.
I promise you.
Yes, sir.
Because now they're expecting it changed. Now they're expecting something to happen.
Right.
And the world likes to see that. The world likes excitement. It likes chaos, right?
Drama, we love it. We live for it.
But we're also drifting into a space where there's a good amount of people who value high level principles and character.
Yes.
Right. You see more people talking about, you know, the underdog. You see people like Gary Vee saying how kindness is the secret weapon to success. Right. So you're hearing more and more of this, and it's becoming more of a theme, and people are like really embodying like, yo, like I can be an amazing individual and I don't have to hate anybody. I don't have to kill anybody. I don't have to step on somebody's head to win in life. There's a perspective that's shifting right now where, you know what I'm saying, you can be a boss. You can be a boss female, a boss man. Either way, you can be a boss without it being at the detriment of somebody else's character, career, position, right?
Yes, the whole meaning of the word, the connotation of the word is changing completely right now.
Come on. So as we look at this situation, Chris Rock, that was a boss move.
Yes.
It took a lot of high level emotional control, emotional intelligence for him to not respond with anger and physicality. Like it took high level emotional intelligence. I don't care how nobody look at it. He didn't respond that way. And now, because he didn't, I promise his career is about to go even higher.
Oh, yeah.
I promise.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. His career is going higher. There's going to be some people that bring him on and ask, how did you not respond this way? And he's going to be able to speak to a high level character when Will Smith can only say, my emotions caused me to do that.
And that right there is a win. Like you can't.
Come on.
Because like, ooh, you just
Come
shifted the
on.
whole. Ooh, because now everywhere Chris Rock goes, he's glorified.
Come on. If they ask him and say, how did you not respond, man? Do you think that made you look weak? Do you think that made you a coward? And he can confidently say, no, I made the decision because number one, I knew at the end of the day, I was in a position of service, right? I was in a position of serving in that role. The world is watching me do what I'm supposed to do in this role, right? I'm a comedian. I'm giving this award. I'm on stage. I stayed in my character
the whole time.
I operated at a high level where Will Smith allowed emotions to take over. And I didn't. I didn't allow the emotions to even cause me to respond the way he did. I didn't even allow it to make me hit him back or curse him out. So that's high, bro. That's high. And he'll be able to carry that forever in any conversation, in an interview he ever has.
Absolutely. And for that right there, like that was first of all, he's a consummate professional.
Yeah.
Because the level of stick-to-itiveness, right, to be able to really stay in that space while that's going on, and that honestly, that made me even want to start strengthening my meditation efforts, right? Like I'm looking to increase my time. I'm about at a good 6-7 minutes now, solid present meditation. Yeah. And my goal this next month is to get to 15 minutes because when you're able to really bring yourself to a moment in a present space and just be there and control your mind in that space, you're able to control yourself amongst chaos.
Yeah.
Amongst things happening. It's like I use a reference of basketball, right? So my coaches always tell me like, yo, bro, when you get good enough, the game will slow down for you. And I'm like, yo, what is he talking about? The game slowing down. Like, these guys ain't gonna slow down when I'm running. Like, what are you talking about? But what he's saying was, what he really meant was the game didn't slow down. Your brain began to process faster.
Yes.
So what happened was he allowed that while you're going through the game and everything's happening, you can start seeing things before they happen. You can start recognizing like, oh, he's going to cut there. He's going to be there. And this is why we hear LeBron talk. It's such, oh, he's a master because he sees things before they happen. And that's because the game is slowed down. And that's the same thing with us in life. Is like, once we get to the point where we know how to meditate and center ourselves, the game of life will slow down for us. Like everything that's around us, all the chaos, even amongst chaos and things happening, we can still find that inner peace and control ourselves and have that same precise control that Chris Rock showed at the Oscars, bro.
That's facts. That's facts. It's a high level self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a point where I would go and speak in a school and, I wasn't fluent, you know what I'm saying, all the time. And like what I was saying and connecting one story to the message and all that. Once you do it more and more, it's second nature, right? Because you're building the mental muscle, right? You're building the mindset that allows you to navigate through that space more fluently. So like you said, it's just a high level self-awareness. Meditation gets you connected to self, right? It makes you aware of self, self-awareness.
Right.
And then as you practice that, it bleeds into all areas of your life. So you nailed it, bro. That's major.
Bro. And like, I truly believe that that's like what's helping me get through a lot of my day-to-day tests and trials. Because, we can be sitting here right now and as parents, we can get a phone call that can just throw our day into a whirlwind. And being that we're leaders, our family plays on the fact that we're going through what we're going through, and they actually live off of that. So if we're constantly in a state of chaos and uncertainty and just being frazzled because we're not centered, then we could watch the same effects in our children's lives. We see the response in our wife's daily activities. And for Chris Rock, just to go back to Chris Rock really quick, because his stableness emotionally had to do something for his family. You know what I'm saying? Like when things happen in Chris Rock's life, he doesn't fly off the hinge. You can just see that right now through this instant. So just using this to see into his life, I would say to myself, yo, Chris, you are a phenomenal individual because you stood strong in the midst of the world's chaos. Like that's different, bro. Like,
yeah.
And like right now, we have this camera on right now, and we know we're talking to a camera right now. But there's a different feeling when there's millions and millions of people watching it live. Yes. Like right now, we're pre-recording this, and we know that. But even though the camera turned, the little live button is on in the corner, you still feel a certain kind of way. But just imagine when there are millions and millions of people, eyes glued on you.
Right. And not just in person. You got thousands in front of you.
Facts.
And you got millions behind the scenes, behind the camera watching you. Like the work. I'm glad you mentioned meditation because especially as men, and let's just go deeper, as Black men, right?
Yes.
We don't put enough value on the power of meditation. We think it's kind of corny, it's kind of weird, right? But we can't even fathom the lasting effects it has once you practice it often. Right. I was just on a retreat with a group of young men. We took 19 10th graders.
Wow.
And these young dudes, man, to be honest, these dudes, a lot of them are street dudes, right?
Right.
They're affiliated in some capacity. Some of them, outside of school, carry pistols, all type of stuff, right?
Right.
So these dudes took them, 19 of them, out to Columbus, Ohio, and we got an Airbnb. We had an awesome event. The following morning, we woke up around like 6:00. Everybody got themselves together, and I did a meditation with them. Right. I did a guided meditation with 19, 16 to 17-year-old dudes. Right. So we all sit down, man. And I asked them, I said, show of hands, how many of you all have meditated before? 2 raised their hands. One said, out of 19, one said, well, I think I kind of meditated. I know I have my eyes closed. Right. So he don't even know. So really it was probably one.
Right.
Probably 1 out of 19 that meditated out of this whole group, bro. And once we did the meditation, and the video will be coming out shortly, man. We got it all on recording. It was a beautiful, a very beautiful moment, man. But once we were done, I asked them, how did they feel? The response was relaxed, rejuvenated, connected, grounded, great. Never felt like this before. Energized. Like it was all these great comments on how they felt afterwards, man. And again, this was the first time for most of them. So if that happens, that was just one moment. That was one time. It was a 12-minute meditation. First time, one time, that was it. Imagine doing that every day. Oh, here I'm gonna ask you a better question for those who are viewing this. Imagine not doing it for 16 years.
Wow.
Right? If you never have meditated before, 16 years of your life, and all of a sudden you finally get this moment, and it's one of the best moments. They said this was the highlight of their time there. And we went to go see exotic cars, everything. They said the meditation was the highlight of their time there.
Wow, that's powerful.
Imagine going most of your life or all of your life with never doing something that makes you feel grounded, energized, fulfilled, connected, rewarded. You never do it. Now shift it. Now I do it all the time. Now it's a daily practice for me. Now all of a sudden, when something like that pops off, somebody comes and smacks you, disrespects you, calls you out your name, gets under your skin, the work speaks for itself.
Yes.
It's not like, listen, nobody can say, oh, if somebody was to smack you, would you be calm? And you just be like, yeah, because I meditate. Listen, nobody's going to say that.
Nobody's going to say that.
Nobody will ever say that. What happens is in the moment, the work takes lead.
Right.
Because the work is subconscious.
Correct.
The work is internal. So what happens is in the moment, boom, Chris Rock gets smacked. In the moment, you can tell the work that he's been doing for years took lead, not his emotions.
Right.
Because I promise you, the emotions wanted to respond in a very abrupt way. The emotions didn't take lead. The work he had been doing took lead, and he did not respond from an emotional place. He responded from a place of, yo, that was frustrating. How do I handle this? Right? That was random. What do I do? And in a split second, he embraced it. Yo, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Right.
That's going to be a highlight moment for forever. Right? Hey, I'm going to say anything else about your wife. On to the next part of the segment. Come on, man.
That's incredible strength.
The work took lead. So people don't ever belittle the work, especially
Right.
the internal work. People oftentimes, why y'all think people like Michael Jordan meditated and viewed the game before he ever grabbed the ball? He sat down and played the game in his head before he touched the ball. So he won before he got on the court.
Right.
And people don't put enough value in that. So, man, that's a lot. That's enough in its own for people to take in,
bro. And like, but right before we get out of here, I just want to just tap into that meditation one more time, because if we continue to do the work, like you say, like we do the work will show up for you. But we cannot expect work to show up that we didn't do. We can't expect to have the outcomes from the work that we never pursued or did.
Facts.
And Chris Rock was able to challenge something that he didn't just do in that moment. Like he didn't wake up that morning and say, I'm gonna start meditating today.
Right.
Okay. And to this day, I'm so proud of the fact that Chris Rock he stood his ground as a man, but he also was a phenomenal example for our young men going forward, bro.
Yeah.
Phenomenal example. We can use that and his response for years to come about emotional stability, being capable of controlling your emotions. I'm sorry, Poppy. Being able to control your emotions and being able to go forward and be a professional. Like it's okay, I'm coming. And being professional like I'm doing right now. All right, so I got to get out of here. So last time we get out of here, I want to ask you one question, D.
Yes, sir.
What will you tell your son based upon this? Like, what do you tell? No. Better yet, because you have a younger man. What do you tell the young men that you just came back from the retreat with? What do you tell them, and how do you point to them? How do you point out to them the strength of character by Chris Rock?
Yep. So first and foremost, I'm gonna tell them to watch this podcast, right? but secondary, man, I will always acknowledge that it is okay to defend yourself. Okay, let's not get that misconstrued. Like if somebody attacks you, I am never going to tell you not to defend yourself. Right? You have the right to defend yourself if you're being attacked. Right? But here's what I will say: there may be incidents, even in being attacked, right, where there's something in you that says, I shouldn't respond this way. I want to encourage anybody who does the work to allow that voice to get louder, to listen to the voice, right? If you're doing the work to allow that voice to have power within you, to have power within your response, to have power within your reaction, I don't want you to ignore that voice. Allow that voice to take lead in most of the situations that you have throughout life. If you allow that voice to take lead, I can almost guarantee that you will have a more fulfilled and rewarding life than the person who allows the frustration and anger and the emotion to take lead throughout their life. So again, as I said earlier, the universe doesn't care how you feel. It only cares how you respond. There's oftentimes you might not feel like getting up. You might not feel like pursuing your dreams. You might not feel like going to practice. You might not feel like going to work. But the universe doesn't care. It does not care. You can even have lost a loved one. You can even be going through something traumatic. You can even be going through a physical ailment. The universe it still doesn't care. Only thing it cares about is how you respond. Even in the moments of your darkest times, your toughest moments, if you tell the universe, I'm not giving up, I'm still going to be my best self, the universe respects that and it rewards you for that. So I hope that helps whoever gets a chance to listen to this. And that would probably be my, my message to them.
Yo, listen, I'm not even going to come behind that, because seriously, that was a mic drop. I'm going to reiterate one thing. Allow that inner voice to win. Allow that voice that's telling you the right thing in the right moment to win. But in order to do that, you got to do the work. You got to do the work while you're by yourself, in those times when you're by yourself, because that's what happens. The work you do alone by yourself shows up in public.
Yep.
And that's how this goes.
Yes,
so
sir.
With that being said, yo, Dawud, man, as you can see, I got one man over here that's ready pulling me away from the screen right now.
Oh yeah, it's a wrap.
He gotta go poop.
Oh yeah, it's game time.
With that being said, right, yo, listen, everyone out there, let them know where they can find you out really quick, bro.
Yeah, man, y'all can tap in with me on Instagram. It's at Dawud Humzah. If you see my name on the screen right here, it's just an @ sign right before the first and last name. And I also got my website, which is www.hype worldwide.org. That's what I use for my booking, for my speaking, guys. I do speak a lot throughout my city, and I'm going to be expanding this year as well. And I dabble in some real estate too, y'all. So I do have my real estate investing company. I'm going to be working on a fix and flip next week. So I'm excited about that. But definitely tap in with me if you're a administrator, work in schools, anything of that nature. Reach out to me through DM or email me at info@hypeworldwide.org. And I would love to come speak to your students. I would love to come speak to your faculty or your administrative team as well. And I also do some things with adult men where I've spoken to fathers and whatnot as well. So I'm just excited about the journey, man. And I appreciate you bringing me onto this platform, King.
No doubt, my brother. Listen, all the information will be down in the description. So please link up with him. And to all the people out there that are in schools, counselors, teachers, do yourself and your students a favor. Have this man at your building. I'm going to put it out there. Have him out there because it's about the growth of our children, and he is built for it. He is built for taking our children to another level. I back him wholeheartedly. This is RJD stamp of approval all over this young king. So with that being said, yo, I appreciate you, bro, for coming on this platform. Thank you so much, bro. As always, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And to everyone out there checking this out, do me a favor. Like, comment, and share. That's how you can support this podcast. But guess what, people? We're coming down to the last minutes. And you know, in every podcast the same way. Confidence is all about what? How you see yourself. It's not predicated on anyone else's view. Don't you forget that. So until the next time we see each other, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, don't slap them like Will did. Get those folk from around you. Yo, this is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this has been another episode of the Unique Confident Podcast. Y'all be blessed because we will. Peace, y'all.
Thanks.